What's up everybody, welcome to my channel where we don't do and think like the average person out there. Are you in college or you're just about to start college and you're wondering how you're going to pay your tuition? Well, you have selected the right video, because in this video I'll be sharing with you 4 proven steps that you can use to graduate debt free. And ladies, this does not include swindling men out of their money. Now, the first thing that normally comes to a parent or a guardian mind when it comes to paying off tuition is student loan. And this is often because they don't really have the money to send their student go to school, or they don't know of any alternate option, right? And this normally leaves students in a position where they leave school or college. They're in a position where desperate to pay off their student loan and they are in need of finding a job, and this often results in them selecting a job that they don't really want. If you follow these steps that I'm going to be outlining in this video, there is no way that you're going to be leaving college with a full tuition in student loan to be paid. You can either leave with money in your pocket and debt free, or leave with just a partial of that student loan amount to be paid off. So the first thing I want to talk about is scholarships and grants. A lot of students enroll in college, complete college, and not knowing that they could apply for scholarships and grants to assist them with their tuition. You can get scholarships that cover even your entire tuition. Some might be partial, you might have to apply for them yearly. For example, if you're a member of the PATH program, you can get up to $100,000 in grant each year. And this is a big boost in helping to pay your tuition. And you can apply for multiple scholarships and grants. And over time, these add up and can pay your entire school fee. And if you're lucky enough, you can get a scholarship that can cover the entire duration of your studies. Majority of the companies out there even offer a foundation or a scholarship program. For example, NCB Foundation have scholarships that students can apply for. However, if you're just starting out in your first semester, you might not be qualified for some of these scholarships, as they require a GPA at least say 2.8, and you're just starting and you don't have a GPA. But there are others you might be qualified to apply for. And in my opinion, if you have an excellent GPA and you're not using it to get scholarship, maybe you're just stressing yourself to get good grades for nothing. That's just my opinion. And out there in the working world, nobody recognizes your GPA. That's from my experience and what I've observed. So most of these colleges have a financial aid department. This is where you're going to go and apply for your scholarships. They have all the scholarships available, and that is the same places you can get the forms to apply for the scholarships. And when it comes down to applying for scholarships, a lot of individuals fail themselves and be like, I won't get it and all of that. If you don't apply, you won't give yourself a chance. So right there and then, majority of people fail themselves. So when you go ahead and do this, you have an excellent chance of getting a scholarship, because the majority fail themselves. And number 2, the second thing I want you to apply for is lunch assistance and utilize the shuttle services. Now, with the lunch assistance program, you can get subsidized lunch, or you can get a small grant that you can use to purchase lunch. So most times you can just go to specific places and then you will be able to purchase lunch for a discount, or you can get a full meal. Now, a lot of people don't apply for these things because 1, they are not aware of it, and 2, they think they are better than applying for them. But guess what? These little monies add up over time. And remember, if someone is assisting you with your tuition, they are the ones sending you to school. You have to think about their finances that they have to deal with. So they have to take care of themselves plus assist you. So you have to look at every way that you can save money or cut back on some of these expenses. So don't worry about the people you see going to BK or the friends that are going to KFC. Focus on living cheap and stay humble. In the end, it will all be worth it. Number 3, renting a shared room versus a single room. I know a lot of people go for the single room because of the privacy and they like their own space and all of that. But sometimes you have to just put that aside and just share a room. I know it comes with the challenges sometimes, but when you don't really have the money, you have to save whatever you can. And remember, it's hard to pay off student loan debt, especially when jobs are so hard to get. So any little effort you can put in upfront to save some money, you have to do that. Number 4, go on the work and travel program. And if you don't have the money, by all means, you can borrow it. It will be worth the investment. So the Work and Travel program is a cultural exchange program where students from around the world go to the United States to work and experience the United States culture. And this is an excellent opportunity where you can make some money to pay your school fee. Now, when you go on the program the first year, if you borrow money, the goal of your first year is to make enough money to pay back what you have borrowed and make enough money to pay back your program fee when you're going on the program the other years. So when you're on the program, don't make this common mistake that a lot of individuals makes. Don't shop until you drop. Make sure you just buy bare minimum things that you need. If you need an extra pair of shoes, just buy extra pair of shoes. You need 2 pair of jeans, 2 jeans, that's all. 3 shirts, that's all. And then you're going to ensure that when you are going on the program the second year, you can afford to pay your program fee and you don't have to borrow money again. And this is a mistake a lot of students make year after year. Now, when you reach your final year, you can splurge all you want, but make sure you splurge on a budget. Buy that nice phone if you want, buy that 3 pair of shoes if you want, buy that 5 pair of pants if you want. But guess what? Make sure you do it on a budget, because you don't want to be in a position where you graduate, you have a bunch of nice clothes and shoes, but you don't have any money in your pocket, right? And a lot of people make that mistake as well. You want to position yourself so you don't have to be stressing yourself about getting a job immediately. And if you want to learn more about the Work and Travel program, make sure you check out Sade's Vassal's channel. She has a lot of videos on Work and Travel. And if you want to learn more about the Work and Travel program, check out Sade's Vassal's channel. I'll leave her link in the description below. And last but not least, spread your courses throughout the semester. So instead of doing 5 or 6 courses per semester, you're going to be doing 3 or 4. So don't worry about completing a degree in 4 years. There's no harm in completing in 5. So it's easier to find $100,000 compared to $130,000 or $160,000. So you'll be better be able to pay your tuition each semester that way. And that's a strategy that a lot of people don't use. They do the opposite. They take on 5 and 6 courses and pressure themselves even more. So one of the major benefits of leaving college debt-free is that when you graduate, you don't have to be necessarily stressing about getting a job to start paying back student loan, because you're debt-free. You can chill a little and take your time until you get a job. But another thing you need to do when you graduate is that you need to start setting yourself apart from other graduates. What do I mean by this? Start looking at job description that you are interested in, and the skills that you weren't taught in school, you go ahead and learn them on YouTube, or you take additional courses online to do them. So when you prepare yourself and you go to the interview and you see 5 of your colleagues, you are the one who is going to have an unfair advantage. They have the basic college education and you have additional education which you learned on your own. And guys, these are things that I actually did and I'm sharing with you. So if you implement them, they are going to work. There's no doubt about it. So if you have made it this far in this video, here's something that I want you to do today. Share it with someone that you know who is in college or will be going to college soon. They will definitely appreciate it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.